Imagine you're flying over the deserts of southern Peru. You look down, and you'll spot these weird white lines on the rusty red ground. Take a closer look, and you'll realize that they're not just lines. They form shapes, like straight lines, rectangles, triangles, and even swirls. You might even see a monkey, a whale, a condor, a hummingbird, and more. So here's the big question. Where do these lines come from, and what do they mean? Today, mystery, we're diving into one of Earth's wonders. The Nazca Lines. Believe me, they're as fascinating as the Bermuda Triangle or the lost city of Atlantis. And everyone, including pilots, researchers, experts, and even local folks, have different theories on this. These Nazca Lines theories range from the mundane, built as part of an irrigation system, to the downright mind-blowing landing sites for alien spacecraft. Were they just part of an old watering system, or could they be spots where aliens landed? What do these ancient drawings really hide? The Nazca Lines are captivating drawings etched into the Nazca Desert, showcasing geometric shapes and animals like hummingbirds, monkeys, condors, spiders, and parrots. These mysterious Nazca Lines are situated in the Nazca Desert, way down in southern Peru, between the towns of Nazca and Palpa on the Pampas de Jumana, covering about 27 miles long and 5 miles wide. In total, there are approximately 70 animal and plant figures, along with over 800 straight lines and 300 geometric designs. Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Zespe first excavated the area around the Nazca Lines. But it wasn't until the 1930s, with the advent of modern technologies, that these figures were truly identified. The challenge lies in their visibility, as they're practically invisible from ground level. Since then, most experts have been trying to crack the mystery of these Nazca Lines. But way back in the 16th century, in the Chronicle of Peru, someone already mentioned them as trail markers, while Mejia Zespe found dozens. More discoveries have continued over the years, and new ones are still being uncovered today. In fact, in 2022, they discovered another 168 drawings of them. Since there are few remaining traces of the culture behind these massive designs, researchers have fiercely debated the exact purpose and origin of the Nazca Lines, resulting in various theories. And one of the most convincing theories about the Nazca Lines comes from American researchers led by Johann Reinhardt. There they suggest that because the Nazca Desert gets very little rain, which is about 20 minutes a year, maybe these intricate designs might have been crafted for ancient rituals. The idea is that people use these designs to pray for rain from the gods. Since animal symbols are common in Indian rituals, with spiders meaning rain is coming, hummingbirds stand for making things fertile, and monkeys suggest there's plenty of water around. Using these Nazca designs in religious ceremonies seems like the most logical explanation for why they were created. Wait till you hear the last part. In a fascinating twist, researcher Michael Cope proposes another water-like idea about the Nazca Lines. He proposes that the Nazca Lines were like a sacred pathway where the Nazca people walked during their ritual ceremonies. These intricate lines were like a grand offering to the mountain gods, a gesture of gratitude for the essential water that nourished their crops. This belief in honoring mountain deities aligns with a prevalent theme in various Andean religions. But David Johnson had a unique perspective on the Nazca Lines. According to him, these lines weren't just random drawings, but markers pointing to underground water sources called aquifers, which are natural reservoirs of water beneath the Earth's surface. Johnson asserted that he found these underground water sources using a disputed technique called dowsing. This method involves using tools to detect hidden substances beneath the ground. However, when you closely examine it, if the purpose was merely about water, why depict drawings like killer whales, trapezoids, candelabra, flowers, and even humans-like drawings? It raises questions about why these drawings are connected to water. In an alternative interpretation of the water cult hypothesis, Professor Anthony Aveni identifies a fascinating pattern within the Nazca Lines. These lines appear to converge in distinct spoke patterns and trapezoids. This central meeting point lines up perfectly with spots where water flows into the river valleys or on high land between streams. This unique spot is perfect for performing rituals, showing thanks to the gods for the precious gift of water. And speaking of the gods, there's a notion connecting these drawings to something like the Eye of God. This was popularized by Maria Rika, who devoted her life to studying and preserving the lines. She believed the lines acted as a gigantic solar calendar, with the designs aligning with the sun's movements. This celestial calendar enabled the Nazca people to track solstices, equinoxes, and even anticipate events like solar eclipses. Interesting. According to a solar calendar theory proposed by independent researcher and self-proclaimed eclipsologist Robin Edgar, the Nazca lines and geoglyphs might have been intentionally created to be observed by the eye of God or eye in the sky during total solar eclipses. From this viewpoint, these images could have served as offerings or a form of communication with deities residing in the sky. Among these theories, there's a particularly intriguing idea that has captured widespread interest. The most notorious theory about the origin of the Nazca Lines comes from Erich von Däniken's 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods. This theory suggests that ancient Nazca served as a landing site for extraterrestrial spacecraft, commonly known as UFOs. Allegedly, these alien beings imparted special knowledge and technology to the local inhabitants before departing for their home planet. He thinks that people in Peru made the Nazca lines to imitate structures they saw from aliens before. The lines could be like a sign asking aliens to come back to Earth. He also says that the tracks in Malta and other lines in Australia, Saudi Arabia, and the Aral Sea might have been made for reasons related to aliens too. After the departure of these ancient astronauts, the Nazca culture built a series of giant images and designs as messages to the extraterrestrial beings whom they viewed as gods. This theory gained widespread notoriety after being featured in the popular History Channel series, Ancient Aliens. In early 2018, images of a Nazca mummy resembling stereotypical depictions of extraterrestrials went viral on internet social networks. However, the academic credentials and research methods of the Russian researcher behind these images have since been called into question, but the images have brought even more attention to this far-out theory. Fast forward to the present, and the intrigue is back. Artificial intelligence uncovered 4 mysterious and enormous shapes hidden in the Peruvian landscape, with one of them bearing an uncanny resemblance to an alien figure. And this time, there might be a possibility that this idea might be true. Another slightly off-the-wall theory was proposed by Jim Woodman in the 1970s. He said that the Nazca people could only have created these lines in the sand if they had the ability to fly. Convincing indeed. However, most experts don't buy into this idea, because there's no real proof that they had those kinds of machines back in that time. But considering if there's really a connection with the aliens at that time, this theory may not be off the wall after all, but we never know. In an attempt to validate his theory, he went on to build a hot air balloon using local materials. Despite several failed attempts, the balloon eventually achieved flight, though only for a few fleeting minutes. But what if the ancient Nazca lines held secrets beyond just aliens and hot air balloons? What if these lines were guiding the Nazca people through celestial mysteries? Now, when it comes to the Nazca people, we don't know a whole lot. But according to researchers, they lived in a place along the southern coast of Peru, and their civilization is thought to have thrived from around 100 BCE to 800 AD. The Nazca folks were strongly influenced by the Paracas culture that came before them. Just like the Paracas people, the Nazca were into making lots of stuff like ceramics, textiles, and those cool geoglyphs we've been talking about. But what if everything we thought we knew about the Nazca lines was just the tip of the iceberg? What if these ancient enigmas hold secrets that transcend our wildest imaginations? The lines etched in the Peruvian landscape might be more than mysterious drawings. They could be a key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of our existence. The journey has just begun, and the truth is out there, hidden within the ancient lines of Nazca. Stay tuned, for the unexpected awaits, and the answers may be written in the very earth beneath our feet. Before we dive into more answers, catch our next video, where we embark on exploring more unsolved mysteries. See you on the flip side.